Smile Code podcast. I'm Dr. Isiquedu. Today we're going to discuss and decode one of life's biggest questions and at the same time try to keep it light. Today's topic is one of the most profound and practical tools for living a peaceful, authentic life, and that is wisdom. Specifically, we're exploring how to discern the difference between the things we can control and the things that we cannot control. It reminds me of the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Sounds simple, right? But let's be honest, wisdom isn't always my first stop. Sometimes it's more like, grant me the Wi-Fi to Google what I need right now. So, wisdom isn't just for philosophers or people who wear robes and meditate all day. It's really for all of us, navigating our relationships, our careers, and even those moments when life throws us a curveball, like accidentally stabbing yourself with a needle full of someone else's blood. Yes, we're going there. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Let me take you back about 35 years to the early days of my dental career. It was a time when HIV was making headlines and striking fear in everyone. At the time, the disease had no cure, and contracting it was essentially a death sentence. And as a young dentist, I was doing everything by the book. One day, I was given a patient an injection when, out of nowhere, she jerked her head suddenly, and the bloodied needle went straight from her tissues directly into my finger. Now, when I tell you I prayed, I prayed a full Hail Mary, maybe 2 or 3. I knew the implications. If this patient was infected, my life would change forever. And here's the kicker. I was following protocol. This is what we were taught in dental school. But after that moment, I realized something. While I couldn't control my patient's sudden movement or the fear of the unknown, I could control how I gave anesthesia going forward. So from that day on, I never used my finger as a retractor. I switched to using my trusty metal mirror instead. Not only did it protect me, but I've never had another accidental poke since. And that experience taught me an invaluable lesson, and that is wisdom isn't just knowing what you cannot control. It's about changing what you can to protect yourself, having the courage to do that moving forward. Now, my story might not involve global advocacy or media empires, but wisdom shows up in all kinds of ways. So let's look at 2 extraordinary examples, Malala Yousafzai and Oprah Winfrey. Malala's wisdom came in the form of courage and clarity. After being attacked by the Taliban for advocating girls' education, she had every reason to feel anger and fear and despair. But instead, she chose forgiveness and used her voice to create global change. She controlled what she could, her advocacy, and she let go of what she couldn't, like the hatred directed at her. Now that's wisdom in action. Now let's talk about Oprah. Oprah had to decide between staying in the comfort of a steady paycheck or taking the leap to own her own talk show and build Harper Studios. She saw what she could control, her creative vision, and what she couldn't, like the limitations of working under someone else's rules. Oprah's wisdom paid off in the form of not just success, but legacy. Now, these stories might feel larger than life, but the lessons are universal. Whether you're changing your anesthesia technique, standing up for education, or taking ownership of your path. Wisdom is about clarity, about courage, and about alignment with your values. Now, not every wisdom moment has to be so dramatic. Sometimes it's about learning from everyday experiences. Like, have you ever tried to assemble IKEA furniture without reading the instructions? After 2 hours, you're left with extra screws, a wobbly bookshelf, and a lesson. Wisdom is reading the manual, or at least calling or soliciting help from someone who can. But seriously, wisdom often shows up in those small moments when we step back and ask, what's really in my control here? It might mean pausing before sending that snarky email or letting go of a grudge that's been weighing you down. It's practical, it's powerful, and yes, it's often hilarious in hindsight. So here's a quick exercise for you. Think about a moment in your life when things didn't go as planned. Maybe you made a mistake, or circumstances threw you a curveball. Ask yourself, what was in my control in that situation? What wasn't? What's one small change I can make moving forward to avoid or better handle a similar situation? And write it down. Laugh about it if you can, and let it become a building block for your wisdom toolkit. Because wisdom isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So, what have we learned here today? What we've learned is that wisdom is about experiences, and it isn't something that we're born with. It's something we grow into, one needle stick, one leap of faith, or one IKEA manual at a time. Whether it's Malala forgiving her attackers, or Oprah owning her path, or me learning to never trust a wiggly patient without my mirror, wisdom shows up when we discern what we can control and release what we cannot. So this week, I challenge you to find your wisdom moment. Maybe it's letting go of something that's out of your hands. Maybe it's making one small change to improve your life. Whatever it is, remember, wisdom is your greatest ally in mastering your smile and mastering your life. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Smile Code. Don't forget to share your thoughts and stories. If you have a funny or profound wisdom moment to share, please send it my way. I might just share it on the next episode. So until then, keep smiling, keep growing, and keep embracing the wisdom of your unique journey. See you soon.